I'm Mike Sullivan. Are you struggling making solid contact from the fairway? If you are, you very well may be trying to lift that ball. We're going to talk about the lifting instinct and how you can correct it. Okay, so this topic is really nothing new. Trying to make more solid contact with your irons or even with a fairway wood. But from the fairway, we're trying to make more solid contact. I had a student come in today named Bob, and Bob is probably watching this. Hello. Bob, you did great today, by the way. I did not ask him permission to talk about him today, but I'm sure he's okay with it. Bob had come in and he was talking about some of the things that he feels he's doing in his golf swing. And this is something that's really common. So, listen to see if this might be you too. So he had come in and said that he felt like he was sliding through impact. His hips were sliding through rather than turning through. He had felt that was going on. He felt that that was causing him to push the ball off to the right, and that was causing him to make thin contact, fat contact, pull shots, top shots, maybe even with like the fairway wood. So all sorts of things going on, all related to bad contact. So first thing is this. When you're trying to diagnose what's going wrong, try to just keep it between the ball and the club. Try not to think you're sliding or you're doing stuff, internally. Try to think more about what you're seeing with the ball flight, okay? And then the other thing I want to say is, before you start trying to hold yourself accountable for hitting good golf shots and playing well, boy, you should really make sure that your alignment is good. You should make sure that your grip is fundamentally correct. You should make sure that you've got good posture, a nice arm hang, and you have good ball position. So these sorts of topics, I'm not going to go over them right now, but I've got other videos that talk about all these things. I'll attach a little copy in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this elsewhere, you can find those other pre-swing fundamental videos, because you've got to be set up correctly to be able to play this game and get it figured out. So let's get into what's really going on with Bob, because all that other stuff, he's doing pretty well. So what's happening with him is, and I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here, what's happening with him is as he's hitting his shots, he's seeing this sort of a thing. He's seeing that club, and he is not whiffing it, by the way. He's seeing that club, when he gets to the ball, he's seeing contact and feeling contact where he hits the middle of the ball or the top of the ball, and he's getting thin shots, or he's getting fat shots too. So what's happening with him is, between his ball and his club, is he's got this going on. So he's got that club coming down towards the ball, and then it just comes up too soon. Okay? Now what I want you to notice here is, as I'm doing this, I'm going to kind of get down for the camera, watch the handle of the club versus the club head. See that position right there? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put right up here, up in the corner up here, I'm going to show you a video of a tour player, and take a look at his impact position. Look at, and I think that we're going to use this old video of Rory McIlroy, look at his shaft at impact, how it is leading the club head. Okay? So when you look at a really good player, you're going to see a really good player on a regular basis. When they strike the ball, the handle is going to lead the club head. And you may already know this. Actually, Bob, you knew this too, right? So you know this. Why is it that we're not doing it better? One of the things that it very well could be would be a lifting instinct. So even though you probably know that the loft of the club gets the ball up in the air, somewhere inside of us, we have this instinct to let that club head pass the hands and flip down at the bottom. And we need to work on doing better with that, okay? So here's what I'd like for you to practice. This is super simple. And this is something that you might even be able to do in your garage or something, or with a chipping net. You could use foam balls or plastic balls. I want you to think about hitting lower golf shots. Now, I please do not try to hit down on the ball. When we try to hit down on the ball, we were very much at risk of this. We were very much at risk of, when we hit down, that club coming outside the target line and making an out to in type of a swing path and giving us all kinds of problems. So we don't want to hit down. We want to feel more like we're continuing to turn through the shot with our chest and maybe feel like we're getting the center of our mass moving a little bit forward as we hit the ball. So rather than trying to make this work with this great big swing where you're kind of giving it all you got and other little swing flaws are going to have an effect, let's do this with a small shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play the ball a little bit back in our stance. We're going to cheat a little bit to get a sense of the center of our chest being ahead of the ball. Okay? And I'm going to set up with a little more weight on my front foot, and I'm going to try to hit a lower shot. So I'm going to feel like my chest gets a little bit over my front side, and you can see as that happens, boy, that handle of the club is really leading the club head. So one small little shot, let's see if we can do this. All right, that was a really low shot. Now look, as I'm finished here, you can see my hands are pushed up away from my chest a little bit, but look here, I've got this nice straight line going down my forearm onto my wrist and connecting with the club. That's the sort of a thing we want to be able to see at the end of these shots. Even though we're probably not going to hit many really golf shots like that, this is a drill that we want to do to get the right feel of striking the ball with a slight descending blow, and we're going to be moving a little bit towards our front side. Let's do this again. So we cheat a little bit forward, right? Relaxing the grip, really relaxed. 1, 2, just turning through. And again, you can see I've got that nice flat lead wrist. Right-handed golfer, my left wrist. Left-handed golfer would be your left wrist, right? Okay, now, some things on this. I worked with people with this, and the first time that they do it, it doesn't work out right. That's okay. You know, you're not going to acquire a skill just by watching a video and, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's going to give me the skill. We've got to practice this stuff, okay? I remember years ago, I was at this golf pro college, and it was great, by the way. And one of the first things that I had to do as a very first semester student was I had to work with like a graduating student. And this poor guy, he had to help me figure out how to start doing this and how to stop doing this. And look, I remember what it was like. I remember how I had a hard time even distinguishing this versus this. And that we did like probably a 30-minute lesson. I don't know if I ever really did it correctly, but I kept working at it, and over time, you know, you get the concepts, and then you start to do the drills, and you start to do better at the skills. This is something that you can do in the house, of course, like I mentioned earlier. You can do it even without a ball. Look. Now, are you noticing anything here as I change direction from backswing to downswing? See how I'm relaxing my hands quite a bit, and what's being created here? The club is kind of lagging behind my hands, right? This is what lag is all about. So if you've heard about, you know, what's the difference between the pros and everybody else? Well, the pros have lag. How do you get lag? Well, that's what that is. So when we look at this in more of a full swing type of motion, see that? So if I relax my hands, I can get that kind of a lag. But for now, we're going to start just with this little chipping drill. Really, really relaxed. Ball a little back in my stance once again. Relax those hands. Good. Now you'll notice also, if anything, yes, weight's moving to my front foot. Okay? If our weight is moving to our back foot, we're probably trying to lift the ball up in the air. This is super simple. I'm spending some time on it because I see so many people, they do this wrong at first and they give up on it. So don't give up on it. So look, here's what we're going to start with sometimes. You may go like this, and you may come through and not really transfer weight. It's not ideal, but you know what? You're not going to your first drill isn't going to be like your last drill, so that's okay. So really just try to get a feel for relaxing the hands at the end of your swing. Feel if you got that weight on your front foot, okay? This is a really simple little drill. Anybody can do it with a little bit of practice. Don't expect to get the skill down if you don't practice some, but work on this little drill. Right now, here it's March. Not a lot of people are playing golf right now, so hopefully you have a little bit of time before the season starts, but work on this little drill you can do. Weight forward, hands forward with little chip shots. It's going to help you to have a lot less of that lifting instinct, so you will hit the ball more solidly with your irons as well as your fairway woods.
Crying